If I put a spot in front of the forehead of a 13-month-old child, place them in front of a mirror, not much interested. They simply walk away. By 18 months, every child will be captured by the image of themselves in the mirror. Wow. And they wipe the spot from their forehead. That's the first time that you have objective evidence that that child has a sense of self. Because that over there represents me over here. There's a spot over there, so there necessarily must be a spot here. Now, look at me in the mirror. I'm faceful and absolutely complete from your point of view. But from my side, I'm absolutely faceless and incomplete. No different from you. Take a look. 2 arms, 2 legs, a bit in between, but no face. From the point of view of self, there is no self. In the presentation of self to self, there is no face. Wow. We're just like 18-month-old kids, you and I, 18-month-old faceless kids, presenting ourselves to the mummy with the request, "Look at me, mummy." Now, in the case of kids lucky enough to be exposed to a loving look of accepting approval, they can then adopt themselves in the faceful form of the mother in the midst of her looks of, "Look at you, you have it and you are it, wee Georgie Porgy." And in the midst of the thoughts and feelings of, "Look at me, I am it and I have it." Dijavatma type feelings and thoughts of loving, accepting approval. Now, kids being kids, push mummy to the limit, zap. "Don't look at me, I'm not it and I don't have it." For you, mummy, they have to confront these feelings, these benatma type feelings of disapproval. These 170 mu minoring feelings of disapproval and thoughts. 170? Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. I didn't emphasize, but probably didn't need to in the last shoot, that each specific mu mode is attached, or rather I-tagged, by a numeral. Benatma naught, Dinatma 1, Batma 2, Datma 3, Bijavat 4, Dijavat 5, Bijavatma 6, Dijavatma 7. But in the case of these numerals, they don't refer to numbers. They rather refer to the associated thoughts and feelings of each specific mu mode. In fact, I've taken to calling them numerals rather than numerals. Numerals. I've christened them numerals. So, in the case of a coupled set of 170 numerals, this 170 captures completely the dynamic of such a routine. Got it? Let's proceed. 82% of mums put their kids through such disapproving, humoring routine. In the case of a repeatedly domineeringly having the look of loving, accepting approval withdrawn, they then have to readopt themselves in the midst of the look at me, I'm not it and I don't have it for you, Dhanatma type feelings and thoughts of dominance. 171 dominance. Now I've got the figures here. Yeah, 16% of mothers mu minor their kids in such a manner, no different from dads. Now, if these belittled kids are unlucky enough to be passed over for a more favoured brother or sister, they then have to readopt themselves in the midst of, don't look at me, I am it for me, but I don't have it for you. Batma, thoughts and feelings. Batma, thoughts and feelings. 1712, thoughts and feelings. Thoughts, 1712, thoughts of resentment. 1712, exiling resentment. Now, what's that? 9% of mums put their kids through such a routine. No different from dads. Now, there are some kids who are exposed to a look, or the lack of the look, of approval and a lukewarm look of acceptance. These guys adopt themselves in the midst of, look at me, I am it, but I don't have it for you. Datma type feelings. 1313, mu minoring, Datma type feelings. What's the statistics? 8% of mums put their kids through such a mu minoring routine, no different from dads. Now, if these kids, these belittled kids, have the look of acceptance continually withdrawn, they then have to readopt themselves in the midst of, look at me, I'm not it and I don't have it, type feelings, Dhanatma type feelings and thoughts of belittlement. 131, belittlement. 6% of mums put their kids through such a mu minoring routine. Now, again, if these belittled kids are unlucky enough to be passed over for a more favoured brother or sister, they then have to readopt themselves in the midst of, don't look at me, I am it for me, but I'm not it for you. Batma, unfavouring, thoughts and feelings of unfavouring belittlement. Mu minoring, or rather 1312, mu minoring, belittlement. And of course, 1312, resentment, exiling resentment. And that completes the possible number of mu minoring routines. Mother and father, mu minoring routines, there's only 5. Mu minoring, oh wait a minute, sorry, I forgot to bring your attention to the axis of symmetry in schema mu in the last shoot. There's an axis of symmetry in schema mu that separates the ones that don't have it, these 4, from the ones that have it, the top 4. I've taken to calling the top 4 that have it mu major modes. The bottom 4 I've taken to call mu minor modes. So we've really been discussing the possible mu minored modes of being. Let's discuss the major mu minoring modes. How can we do that? Well, let's go back to the original 82% of kids pushing mummy to the limit. Zap, don't look at me, I don't have it. Here they are. Look at me, I am it. Look at me, I don't have it. Now, of those 82%, 54% react and have a wee tantrum. Okay, don't look at me. I have it for me, but I'm not for you. So there. And of course, mum's this size, they're that size. They've got to come back. But this was a crucial moment in any little child's life, because up until that point, the only feelings that they knew was me feel you rejecting me, mummy. But now they had on board a set of feelings and thoughts, me feel me rejecting you, mummy. So in a sense, they've identified with the external mummy. They've internalized that external rejecting mummy. Wow. And that then equips them to go to the other parent, the father or the mummy, and present themselves as this rejecting mummy figure. And of course, they are then able to internalize the rejecting father, the ways of the rejecting father, and then go back to the mum as the rejecting father figure. Wow! Go study your kids. So let's look at these in turn, these 4 in turn. Let's look at the Dijavatma first. But wait a minute. These kids 170, and then they actually 170, and then they become Bijavat prime. Don't look at me, I have it, but I'm not it. So it's 1704. 1704. Bijavat prime. They've gone into a state of Bijavat prime, rejecting the rejecting other. So any ma internalized Bijavat 1 who is exposed to a disapproving father, they are then able to internalize the way, the 170 ways of this father, and then go back to the mum in the form of a Da-like Dijavatma type subject. 1701 or 1707. I think it's 22% of mums put their kids, or rather 22% of major new kids park themselves here in the form of the disapproving ma or da. 22%. Now, if the ma internalized bijavatma ones are exposed to a domineering dad, they then are able to internalize his 171 ways and then present themselves, go back to their mum, in the form of, in the da-like form of a bijavatma type subject. A 171 bijavatma type subject. What's that? Yeah, 10% of mums put their kids through that routine. So 10% of kids are lodged here in the form of a domineering ma or da. And then, of course, there's the ma internalized bijavatma ones who are exposed to a unfavoring, domineering dad. So they internalize the ways of a domineering, unfavoring dad. A 1312 domineering dad. So they are then able to go back to the mum in the form of a da-like dijavat type subject. No, not dijavatma, dijavat type subject. An unfavoring dijavat type subject. What is it? At 7, let's say, oh me, where is it? Bugger it. Oh yeah, that's say, that's 7% of mums put their kids through that routine. Or 7% kids end up there as an unfavoring, domineering ma or da-like. Now, if a ma internalized bijavatma type 1 is exposed to a belittling type father, they then are able to internalize his belittling ways, his 131 belittling ways, then present themselves to the mum in the form of a da-like belittling dijavat subject. Dijavat. So again, it's up here, the bijavatma type subject. Sorry, not dijavat. Bijavatma type subject. That's the 131. And then, of course, if they presented themselves to a belittling, unfavoring father, they then would internalize the ways of an unfavoring, belittling father. And then they go back and present themselves to the unfavoring, belittling father as a da-like dijavat type subject. Again, we have 3% of mas put their kids through that, or das. And then lastly, if a ma internalized bijavat type subject presents themselves to a belittling da, or father, they then internalize the belittling ways of a 1313 father. And then they go back to the mum and present themselves as a da-like bijavat belittling father or mother, depending on who they live in. And that's the ways of all major and minor being before having type subjects. So what about the having before being type subjects? Is there some scientific explanation for their behavior? Of course there is.